Let's dig into some statistics today, specifically box and whisker plots. We tap or click anywhere in Classpad.net and choose a data sticky note. Here you can see our data entry area. And I'm particularly interested today in a couple of data sets, one of them being the ages of the first 10 US presidents, and the other one being the ages of the first 10 US vice presidents. I'm interested in comparing the two sets of data to see what conclusions we might be able to draw. So I'll click here in cell A1 and just beginning entering some information. 57, 61, 57, 57. It turns out that 4 of the first 10 US presidents, in fact 3 of the first 4, had an age of 57 when they were inaugurated. Notice that as I continue to enter data, new cells are created automatically for me, so I don't need to worry about adding rows. And I've now entered 10 pieces of data for the first 10 US presidents. And I'm going to put vice presidents over here in column B. I just grabbed this data off of the internet. Easy to find. Ages of US presidents is one search. Ages of US vice presidents as another. And I now have my new two data sets entered. We have column A for the US presidents, column B for the US vice presidents, and notice that as I started to enter data in column B, that column C here was automatically created for me should I need it. In this case, I only need the 2 columns. So we're going to select column A here. And the first thing I might like to do is look at a one variable summary of the information in column A. So I can click one variable there. Let me hide my soft keyboard and select more. And I can see some of the statistics that can be generated off of column A. Notice in data here, it shows me that column A has been selected. And here I can see things like my 5-number summary that are going to form the key values for my box and whisker plot. There's our mode that we noticed before of 57 as a very common age for the first 10 US presidents. Mode F is mode frequency, showing us that there were 4 of them. Now I could create one variable data summary for each of the first 2 sets, or I could also just select columns A and B and then do a 2-variable statistical summary. And notice how I actually have a lot of different pieces of data there. I don't get the 5-number summary this way though. I do get to compare things like the average value of X and the average value of Y. In other words, the average value of the age of the first 10 presidents and the average value of the age of the first 10 vice presidents. But I don't really get to see the 5-number summary for both at the same time. I'd have to do a 1-variable stats for column A and a 1-variable stats for column B. So really, this is where the box and whisker plots and the ability to view and compare them come in handy. I'm going to select column A again, hit the little right arrow here on my statistics menu to view more choices, and I'm going to select box and whisker plot. It's very easy, just one click or tap will give us the box and whisker plot. Again, remember that your sticky notes can be dragged and repositioned as necessary. So I'm just going to move this down here. I don't really need it right now. There's my box and whisker plot. There's my 5-number summary. Minimum value of 51, maximum value of 68. First and third quartiles at 57 and 61 respectively, and a median at 57. These values can be dragged if I want to look at them in a different place, above or below the number line, let's say. Notice that our scale here is showing our number line beneath. The Y scale doesn't really affect anything here. It's just used to space out different box and whiskers. So let's see how that will work if I select column B and I again hit the right arrow to look at my second page of stats options and select box and whisker plot. And you'll notice that a second box and whisker is created. You see that that's just been added to the sticky note here indicating what data is being viewed. And up here we can see the different 5-number summaries for these values. So we can see that there's definitely a difference between the age of the presidents in blue and the vice presidents in red. They have a similar maximum. In fact, they have an identical maximum. Here's 68 for the presidents and 68 for the vice presidents. But you can see that the middle 50% of the data, or the interquartile range for the vice presidents, is entirely lower than the middle 50% of the data for the presidents. So we can compare that way. Of course, we also have these nice handles where we can drag to separate the graphs. I'm going to move my data down here to create space for that. And then I'm just going to take one of these handles by clicking on it, dragging over here, and I can now look at the box and whiskers side by side. Notice that if I drag any of these blue items onto any of the red items, it becomes a dotted line, outline, and it will recombine the data. So I have the ability to drag to separate or to drag to recombine by drag and drop. So that's a little bit about box and whisker plots. And you can compare one or two or three or more box and whisker plots on the same graph and be able to do your statistical analysis that way. Join us next time for more video tips on how to get the best out of Classpad.net.